make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. Right versus religion. So there's a documentaries type of piece on Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, formerly known as Chris Jackson, NBA basketball player. From Mississippi. He had Tourette's. So he was like one of the first guys to how can I say this? To protest the national anthem. He protested it earlier than Kaepernick, and it cost him his career, just like Kaepernick, right? But there was a particular part, and I don't know who put this up. It might have been Tariq Nasheed. If it was, shout out to him. There's a clip of it where other Muslims were talking about, his protest really wasn't in the Quran. It wasn't supposed to be a protest. It's not following the rules. And he basically said, I respectfully disagree because this is wrong, and our religions tell us to, stand up for what's just and what's right. Just because something is illegal does not make it right. There are plenty of things that have been legal and weren't right. And using him as a reference, a lot of times we've seen over the years that people use religion as a way to peddle their selfish, self-serving agenda. And you've seen people fight for what's right using religion. And when I say fight for what's right, we all have a basis of understanding what's right and wrong. And I've said numerous times that America is a godless country. It's capitalism first. And the thing about capitalism is, money over the accumulation of money is the primary thing. And that goes even before your soul, before right and wrong in this country. And that's how it's always been. And sometimes when somebody puts right first, puts God first in this country, it's a culture shock. People don't want to say that sometimes because not God bless America. You say God bless America while you're killing other people in other countries. That's very hypocritical. You say God bless America while you're killing people in this country. That's hypocritical. You say God bless America while you're sabotaging people's lives and their children and grandchildren and generations' lives for your own benefit. That's hypocritical. God is not going to bless that, but capitalism will. Capitalism will bless that. And we get that confused. So when I'm saying right, versus religion, this part of what people don't want to say is people's, what is it? What good is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Let me backtrack by saying that depends on what your number is. Some people have a number to gain the whole world and lose their soul. Some people don't have a number. And a bit of nuance is, some people are trying to get rich and not lose their soul. And some people are trying to get rich and care and don't believe that, their soul is for sale. So I don't know what you're talking about. So this is the society we deal in. Now, what's interesting is, when time passes, you look at things different. I remember when he changed his name to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. And I remember when he was fasting. I was a kid. I didn't know what fasting was. I didn't know what Ramadan was. None of that. And I was like, he became a vegan, if I'm not mistaken. He lost a good amount of weight. And I was like, what is he doing? Like, is he okay? Like, is he sick? Because I remember at that time, I think I was in school and we learned about eating disorders like bulimia, anorexia. I'm like, is he Is something wrong with him? And, with time, I was like, oh, no, he was just fasting and eating different. So his body changed. So, okay. And not in my lack of understanding of how big basketball players are. Like whether y'all know this or not, basketball players are huge. Huge. They might look just tall and skinny on TV. Even when they look tall and skinny or short and skinny, they got some size on them. But you would say Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf is probably around the size of, now I say, Allen Iverson. And that's what made Allen Iverson so great. It was like, that little dude. But, he was bigger than an average size guy. But saying that to say, religion and indoctrination and assimilating to American society messes with you. It messes with you a lot. So you'll throw somebody under the bus for their religious belief, even though they're right. And we see this, you can change the religion, you can change the race inside of religion, and that determines whether people are going to respect a person's beliefs of what's right and wrong. And he doubled down in a sense. He was black and he was Muslim in America. So it was like, oh, you got to be wrong. He wasn't wrong, but we don't care about, he was in, think about it. You can be Christian and have an issue with America's devious nature and past, and people look at you sideways. So then if you're a Muslim, you don't fit into America. It's like, he fits in. It's just you don't want him in. And is he right? Yeah. But we're willing to destroy somebody who's right and who's quote unquote led by religious beliefs because I don't want your right fight to not entertain me. You're supposed to entertain me first, and then shut up and dribble. And then when it's time for you to speak, I'm out of the arena anyways. So I don't care what you say. So he really exemplifies what it is to be right versus religion or people's religious beliefs within his faith and outside of his faith and other faiths and other faiths, not faces. And on top of that, his dedication and discipline to still like to love the game of basketball and wind up playing and wind up being still active to the point where when the Big Three came out, he in his late 40s, early 50s, and he's still dropping them on them. Like I still have a passion for this. Even though they took it away from me, that didn't take my passion away. Because that's what this country would do. So tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Uh-oh.